Hey, what's going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel. Now, today's video, I'm going to be going over how to overcome spiritual warfare. Now, we all experience different types of warfare within this world. There are many types of warfare that exist within this world. We have economic warfare, we have capitalistic warfare, we have geopolitical warfare, we have technology warfare, we have military warfare. We have all these different types of wars and warfares that transpire within this world. Now, the biggest warfare of them all that supersedes all these other different wars that exist within our world is the spiritual war. Right? You hear some people say, on the internet, in person, that this is spiritual war. This is a spiritual war. We are going through a spiritual warfare, right? And they are true, right? Spiritual warfare is the battle between the forces that are unseen, the forces that you can't see. Just like it states in the biblical scripture, we don't battle against flesh and blood. We don't wrestle against flesh and blood, but against principalities, the rulers of the darkness of this world, and spiritual wickedness in high places, right? So we don't deal with people. We deal with frequencies. We don't deal with people. We deal with energy. We don't deal with people. We deal with entities, right? The unseen realm, the unseen forces that are at work that we can't see with our physical eyes, because our physical eyes can only see about 1 to 2% of the entire light spectrum. So there's spiritual warfare going on as we speak, as of right now, every single day, right? So in this video, not only am I going to be going over what is spiritual warfare exactly, but how to overcome spiritual warfare so you can be, at peace and, happiness, not having to worry about anything in your life, being able to overcome the trials and tribulations and the experiences that you may be going through in your life. All right, so let's not waste any time and let's go ahead and get started. So when it comes to spiritual warfare, right, where does the spiritual war actually take place? Within, military wars, it may take place within a certain region or a certain country or on a certain battlefield or wherever the case may be. But when it comes to the spiritual war, the war is psychological. That's the first thing that you need to understand and realize. The war is psychological. That's why there's always an attack on your consciousness. There's always some sort of, mind control over the mind. If you can control the minds of the people, then you can control the people as a whole. Right, so that's why there's always, distractions going on, just all these different mental games and these mental manipulations that the world tries to put us under. It tries to put us under hypnosis, right? Just small example, when you're, looking at advertisements, whether it be on television or at the gas station or at the barber shop or at work, you see all these different advertisements when it comes to a certain food company or a certain restaurant. They try to play, with these images and these colorful images and these logos, like the McDonald's logo. It catches the eye of the individual, and now it leads to that person wanting to, eat something that's not good for them, eat something that's not necessarily healthy for them. You see where I'm going with this? So the war is psychological. It's always an attack on your consciousness level. That's why I stated earlier, if you can control the minds of the people, if you can control the mind of an individual, you have their undivided attention. You have taken their power away. Right? So always remember that wherever attention goes, energy flows. If your attention is on sex all the time, that's where your energy flows. You're in that lustful state. You're operating within your lower nature, your animalistic nature. All right. So the war is psychological, but keep in mind, consciousness is your weapon. Now we know within the first law or the first principle of the Kemetic principles is the law or the principle of mentalism. The all is mind and the universe is mental. So we have to understand that the mind is very powerful, right? What you put into your subconscious, what you put into your mind, what you think about on a daily basis, that's going to transpire into your own reality. That's how powerful our minds are. I believe that a lot of people don't understand how powerful our minds are. When we focus on a certain object, or we focus on a certain person or a certain event, or whatever the case may be, when we're constantly thinking about that, when we put our energy, our mental thought energy towards something specific, it has no choice but to manifest. When you're thinking about, if you're thinking about a coworker, or you're thinking about a female that you've seen in public, or you think about a certain food item, whatever the case may be, whatever you're thinking about, it has no choice but to manifest in your life, right? Even if you're complaining about something, complaining about the person that you have to work with, or complaining about the president, or complaining about a certain situation that's arising in your life. If you keep complaining about these things, the universe has no choice but to show you the exact thing that you're complaining about, putting more of that stuff into your life that you're complaining about, right? So that's how powerful our minds are. Our minds are able to manifest anything that we desire as long as we put the mental energy and the mental thought towards that object or that person, whatever the case may be. All right? So consciousness is your weapon. So, in order to overcome spiritual warfare, you have to develop faith. Right? You hear a lot of people say, a lot of spiritual people, and individuals in general, when they tell you have to have faith, right? You just, if you don't have faith in something, then you're not going to go very far in life. If people try to think logically, right? They have to actually see proof in order for them to believe in it. If it's not something that they can't see, or they can't logically calculate in their mind, or they logically can't prove it, then they have no faith in it. They don't believe in it at all. But in order for us to overcome spiritual warfare, overcome certain obstacles that are arising in our lives, overcoming just different experiences that we experience that we necessarily don't want to align with, we have to have faith. All right? So we have to have faith in ourselves, and then also the unseen, right? You have to have faith in yourself. You have to have faith in yourself that you are able to overcome these challenges and overcome these obstacles, or whatever you're going through. If you're going through, a certain addiction, alcohol addiction, a drug addiction, sex addiction, whatever the case may be. If you're going through just personal experiences, if you're dealing with a toxic family, or a toxic relative, or if you're going through financial problems, whatever the case may be, we have to stop focusing more on the negative and start focusing more on the positive. I know that's easier said than done, but like I said, if you keep focusing on the negative, keep focusing on the things that you want to avoid and the things that you don't want in your life, it's going to keep coming back to you, right? So we have to, surrender to the universe, surrender to our higher self, surrender to God. All right, if we keep fighting and resisting and complaining and bickering and being mad about our situation, that's not going to help at all. You're operating at a very low vibratory rate, a very low frequency, a very low vibration, right? So we have to always, surrender. People think that the word surrender is, a bad thing. You're surrendering, you're laying down, you're getting on your knees and giving up. But ultimately, when you're surrendering, you are giving the law back to God. You are giving the law back to the universe. You're giving the law back to your higher state of being, right? So it's important for us to give our power to God, because God knows what's best for us. God knows what's best for you and the situation that you're in, right? He knows. right? God is the most, the infinite intelligence, the infinite awareness, the infinite knowing. So once you are able to understand that and conceptualize that within your own subconscious, then you're able to surrender your problems, your feats, uh, your downtimes, trials and tribulations. You're able to surrender that to God, and God is able to hand that for you. Okay? So you have to have faith in yourself and faith in the unseen. Have faith in yourself that you're able to overcome, whatever problems you're going through, different types of spiritual warfare, addictions, and things of that nature. And you also have to have faith in the unseen, right? Because, most people, if they can't see it, they can't fathom it, if it's beyond their mind or beyond their imagination, they just don't believe it. They cross it out completely. But we have to have faith in the unseen. Even though we can't see the unseen, we all know that the unseen is always working for us. All right, if we do what's right, if we're on God's side and we're doing the will of God and doing, whatever it takes to raise the overall consciousness level of the planet, just doing many great works, right? Then the universe has no choice but to be on your side. The universe will always be working for you in any which way or form. All right? So, now we understand that we have to develop that faith. Okay? So how does one develop faith? Your faith/beliefs are programmed by your thoughts, right? Like I said, everything starts in the mind. The all is mind and the universe is mental. So what are you putting, what kind of thoughts are you having on a day-to-day basis? What kind of, what are you putting your energy towards? What are you putting your mental energy towards on a day-to-day basis? Is it on, your purpose, your projects, your business, your, significant other, your family, your children? What are you putting your thought towards? Are you putting it towards something productive, or are you putting it towards something destructive? All right. So the thoughts lead to feelings. Okay, so we are feeling creatures. We are feeling human beings. We like to feel. We like to feel at peace. We like to feel at ease. We like to feel happy. We like to feel, positive, because we love the feeling. Right, so once we have those thoughts, and those thoughts to lead to those feelings, right, that's when it starts to kick into high drive. All right, so once we have those feelings, that leads to us taking action. That leads to actions. So if you have that, that good feeling about yourself, you're feeling motivated, you have that self-love, you have that self-awareness, and you have a positive self-image about yourself, and you know that within your own gut, within your own intuition, then you'll start leading more towards, going to the gym, working out, developing that physique, that dream body that you want, or you taking the action to provide for your family, provide for yourself, provide for your mama, whoever it is. Just taking action, right? That leads to taking action. And that'll lead to the results, right? Making a certain amount of money, to provide for your family. That'll lead to, manifesting your dream life, a more abundant, positive life, achieving spiritual evolution, spiritual, happiness, whatever the case may be. We all have different goals and different dreams and different aspirations in life. So that's how it works. So let me give you an example. Say you have a thought, right? A thought arises. You have a thought, you may be at work or you may be at school, a thought arises that, hey, I want some cookies today. I want a batch of chocolate chip cookies or something. That thought arises in your head. You have that sweet tooth. Now that thought leads to feelings. You start to feel, hungry. You start to feel like you have this appetite for cookies. Your mouth starts watering, your stomach starts growling. You just had that feeling that you want a batch of cookies, right? And those feelings turn into action. So you leave work. Once you clock out, you leave work or you leave school, or you leave the house, and you end up going to the, the closest cookie store that you can find. You get the, the batch of chocolate chip cookies or the batch of oatmeal cookies, whatever you like. And that leads to the results. That leads to you, eating cookies, right? You feel satisfied. See how it works? So another example, let's say a thought arises that, you want to become a better person, right? You get a download, you get a certain download, you get an idea on what to do and what steps to take in order to improve yourself, right? You have the thought of working out. Let's use exercise for example. You have the thought of, creating your own workout routine or looking up a certain workout routine, right? So that leads to feelings. You feel, you had those mental images in your head about this perfect physique that you want, right? You imagine all, the muscle structures, the muscle tone, how good you look, how good you will look, right? How good you will feel when you have this specific body type, right? Or if you're just, trying to be healthy, right, on the inside. So that leads to feelings. You feel healthy. You feel, you feel like you want to do this. You feel like you want to start, pumping that iron, getting those muscles pumping. All right, that gives you a more, positive feeling about yourself. Like you're ready to take on this, fitness journey, right? And that leads to actions. You start going to the gym, right? You may not be going to the gym consistently at first, but then over time, once you start getting your mental game sharp, then after a while, you start going to the gym consistently. And that leads to the results. It might, last, a couple months or a year before you get that, that perfect body, right? Because all people's bodies are different. So it depends on what type of body you have. So that's basically how it works, right? But it all starts within the mind. Because let's say, people might be inconsistent. They might go to the gym, for their New Year's resolution. But then, you see like maybe a month later or maybe less than that, a couple weeks later, they stop going to the gym. Why is that? It's because of the mind. They're not mentally, they're not mentally there. Because if you try to, just try to do it physically, try to do it with all your physical strength and all your physical might, then you're going to end up quitting. You're going to end up stopping. But you have to work on your mind first. Your mind has to be there before your body gets there. Because the mind leads and the body follows. You see what I'm saying? So you have to get that. You have to have that mental preparedness. You have to have that mental sharpness. You have to be mentally ready to do something. You have to be mentally ready to perform an action. You have to be mentally ready and mentally sharp, mentally prepared, and mentally strong in order to do something that you want to do. All right? So those thoughts lead to feelings, feelings lead to actions, and actions lead to results. All right? So faith multiplied by action equals manifestation, right? So you having faith in yourself, you having faith in the universe, you have faith in God, that God is going to take care of you. God is going to guide you in the right direction in life. God is going to guide you in, whatever God has placed you in, because God knows what's best for you, right? You may think you might want to do a certain thing. You might have thought you wanted to be an athlete, or you thought you might have wanted to be a writer or a comedian or a author, or whatever the case may be, but God leads you in a different direction. So God ultimately knows what's best for you, right? You may think you know what's best for you, but you're sadly mistaken, because God knows what's best for you. I had to learn that as well. So having faith in the Most High, having faith in your higher self, or whatever you believe in, right? Having some type of faith in a higher source and a higher power, besides yourself, right? So faith multiplied by action, taking action to do what is right, to do what is necessary in order for you to manifest whatever you want, whatever you desire. And that leads to the manifestation. All right? So this equation, faith multiplied by action equals manifestation, will lead one first developing their spiritual currency. All right. So once you are developing your spiritual currency, you are getting paid by the universe, not the world. So it's important for us to get paid by the universe, right? You know, within this 3D realm, we go to our jobs and we may think we're getting paid by a certain organization that we're working for or a company. You know, we believe we're getting paid to do our due diligence by doing our work. But ultimately you are paying yourself, right? The universe is paying you. Once you put more currency, once you put more energy, and once you put more attention towards the universe is going to reciprocate that tenfold. The universe is going to reciprocate that 10 times more, right? Once you invest in that universal stock market, you're going to get all that times 10, right? So we need to be focusing on putting more of our money, putting more of our time, our energy, our dedication, our currency into our spirit, into the universe, so we can be paid in our outer reality, in our outer world, right? Because as above, so below. See what I'm saying? If you get paid by the universe, you get paid by the world. That's how it works. All right. So this equation will lead one to seeking truth, right? You are a truth seeker, right? Like in the Matrix, you have the red pill, you have the blue pill. You stay in delusion or you go down the rabbit hole of truth, learning more about yourself, you know, having self-realization, having self-awareness, understanding what's going on behind the scenes. You know, you are, you know, thirsty for the truth. You want to know the truth. You want to know the higher levels of knowledge and information, right? You want to go beyond and above this illusion, this third dimensional illusion, right? A lot of people want to stay in the illusion. They want to, you know, be comfortable in their regular lives. They don't want to, you know, go through all this turmoil and problems and chaos and things like that. Because I remember back at the beginning of my spiritual awakening journey, you know, as I started to wake up, as I started, you know, my consciousness started rising and I started to understand more about myself and the world, I believe that's when that spiritual warfare started kicking the high drive, right? I've always had, you know, many different problems coming up in my life, but now all of a sudden I noticed that ever since I started digging into the truth, start learning more that the world doesn't really want me to know. You see what I'm saying? I've experienced, this is me personally, I've experienced, you know, spiritual warfare kicking in the high drive, right? So when you're on this spiritual quest for knowledge, you just want to know the truth. You know, you're reading books, you are, you know, talking to, you know, people that are more wise and more knowledgeable than you. You're just always studying up, right? You're in the library with your life. Right, the whole world is your library. The whole world is your oyster. You want to learn the deeper truths in life. Okay. So this equation will lead one to becoming the embodiment of righteousness. You want to be a righteous person. You want to be the symbol. You want to be the logo of righteousness. You want to be a righteous person. You want to set the captives free. You want to set the slaves free. You just want to set people free. You want to open up people's minds to the infinite possibilities. All right. So you want to liberate all the oppressed people. You want to help people. You want to, you know, help people understand more about themselves and their capabilities and their powers. Because we have so many extraordinary gifts and capabilities and powers that we don't know about, lying dormant within ourselves. We don't know our true power. We don't know our capabilities in life, right? So once we, you know, get this message out, start spreading the word, spreading the message, open up people's eyes, right? Not everybody's going to take this message. Not everybody's going to, you know, wake up. Not everybody's going to receive it. Just take it or leave it, right? You can't force your beliefs on people. You can try to help people in the best way you can, but if people are not willing to help themselves, or they don't want to take the message, or they're just not ready at that time, then hey, that's all on them. You've done all your work. You've done all you can do. The rest is up to them, right? So don't stress about it. Don't overexert yourself. Just do whatever do whatever you can. But at the end of the day, they can only help themselves. We can only help ourselves, right? Jesus is not coming back. Jesus is not coming back on this planet. Jesus is not going to come back to forgive all the sins of humanity, take all the sins away from humanity. There's no such thing as that. We are here to save ourselves, and that's the ultimate truth. We are here to save ourselves. So this equation will lead one to finding peace within themselves. So we all want peace within ourselves. We all want to have peace in our lives. We just want, love in our lives. We want peace in our lives. We want tranquility in our lives. We don't want to experience any type of problems in our lives, because the world is already filled with problems as it is. So we become the advocate for world peace. All right, we want, we don't believe in segregation. We don't believe in division. We don't believe in divide and conquer tactics. We don't believe in divide and rule. We want to dismantle the system, because the system is crumbling, the matrix is crumbling, and they know it. All right, this system is going to end, at some point. Nothing lasts forever. Civilizations rise and fall. Nothing lasts forever. So we become, the embodiment for peace. We want world peace. We want people to stand together, because the only way this world will become a better place, the only way this world will thrive and prosper in a prosperous light, is if we come together. Because they know that unity is the only solution. Unity is the most powerful force within this entire world. So if we're able to, come together, set aside our differences, with race, religion, socioeconomic levels, all these different things, all these illusions that divide us, our political state, right? Democratic, Republican, all these different things that mean nothing, that actually mean nothing. It's all an illusion. Once we're able to put our differences aside and come together as one, as a human race, then this world will change in a much drastic way, right? So we preach unity, because unity is the only thing that's going to change anything in this world, right? So once we, keep these in mind, keep these bulleted points up, in mind, keep these messages in mind, then we are able to overcome spiritual warfare, overcome trials and tribulations, overcome different problems and circumstances and all these different things. We're able to overcome these things and overcome the illusion of all these problems that are coming up in our lives, and we're able to ascend to a higher consciousness level. We're able to ascend to different and higher dimensions and astral planes within our own mind, right? So once we're able to overcome these things, then we have no fear. We have no worries about, certain things and certain situations and certain events that are taking place. Like the news is always lying to us and giving us the wrong information. The news is fake, right? The movies are more real than the actual news, right? So when we keep this in mind, then we're able to transcend as gods and goddesses. We're able to transcend, the forces of evil. We're able to transcend this matrix. Because like I said, this matrix is crumbling, right? So there you have it, folks. This is how to overcome spiritual warfare. Hopefully you gained something from this video. Hopefully you learned something from this video. Hopefully, jot some notes down if you like. If you're going through some type of spiritual warfare, going through some type of family problems or financial problems or whatever the case may be, use this as a guide to help you overcome your struggles, to help you overcome, your mental blockages, you know, because all, like I said, all starts in the mind, all starts in the mental, all starts in the head, right? So hopefully this video helps you out. You know, take some notes, take some pointers from this video, and, you know, use it in your own day-to-day life. All right. So till next time, and always remember, all power resides from within, and always keep the faith because God in the universe is always working for you. Take care, guys, and God bless.